Oh my god, it's 12:30 at night. I'm finally done editing. Guys, but please spread the word of this podcast far and wide so that we can grow enough of an audience to start a Patreon so that I can afford a computer that can run DaVinci Resolve and I don't have to come to New Jersey to use my parents' computer every single time I want to edit one of these. I'm losing it. It's too late. All right. As always, the Monkees Pod is not a children's show from the 60s. The Monkees is. We're a little raunchier here. Don't bring the kids around. Enjoy the episode. Hello, and welcome back to the Monkees Pod. My name is Sommer.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Annamaria.
Today we have Season 1, Episode 13, One Man Shy, or Peter and the Debutante, because this episode has two titles.
Right.
So a lot of the Monkees episodes actually have like an alternate title, and I'm not entirely sure why. I've heard it might be because they had like different titles on the scripts, or like they were selling them to like different TV stations with different. I don't know exactly why. But a lot of them have an alternate title. Some of them are sometimes known by their alternate title, including this one. And our historical background for the premise today is we are going to get a little bit into Peter Halston Thorkelson.
Peter what?
Halston Thorkelson.
His name is Halston?
His middle name is Halston and his last name is Thorkelson.
My last name is Holston.
Oh. Actually,
that's crazy.
He was born in Washington, D.C. in 1942, though many news articles incorrectly report him as being born in 1944 in New York City. The date and location listed in early press releases for the Monkees television show, because they wanted
him to be younger.
They wanted him to be younger, and he was like a village folkie, so they wanted to be like, yeah, he's from New York, when it was just, he most recently worked in New York. Right. His parents were Virginia Hope and Halston John Thorkelson, an economics professor at the University of Connecticut. His paternal grandfather was of Norwegian descent, while his mother was of half German Jewish and half Irish ancestry.
White.
Yeah.
Making him very pale.
Yes, he's something of a white soup. He kind of, like, the rest of the Monkees had, like, semi-troubled childhoods, and not to say that Peter didn't in any sense, because, like, his dad was not very nice to him, as far as I know. And he also had multiple near-death experiences as a child. But, like, in terms of, like, comfort and like both your parents being alive and present and having kind of like a wealthy family and like cushy money, he was the best off of them in that sense. He was also very into music. He began studying piano at the age of 9, and he played like 7 billion instruments, including banjo, acoustic bass, and guitar. He grew up in Connecticut. He was in the first graduating class of his high school, apparently. And after college, he moved to New York, where he was kind of in the village folk scene during the first half of the 1960s. And while he was there, he met his bestie, Stephen Stills of Buffalo Springfield. So now we're going to look at some pictures of Peter and Stephen hanging out. Okay. Because they look identical and it's scary.
Very similar vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
It was actually very lucky for Peter that he happened to look like his bestie and roommate, because Stephen auditioned for the Monkees before Peter did. He got kind of far in the process, but the producers were like, hey kid, you're balding and you have fucked up teeth. Do you know anyone who looks exactly like you but 2% cuter? And he's like, weirdly, my roommate does.
Right.
Yeah, they asked him if he knew anyone else with a open Nordic look, which Peter has blonde hair and big boba eyes, so right. I suppose.
I wonder why they needed that. Like,
well, we talked about this early on. The Monkees, unlike the Beatles, who can be kind of hard to tell apart, the Monkees are actually pretty distinctive looking from each other.
4 different looks.
Yeah. Right. As different as white boys can be, I suppose. Right. So they needed a blonde one, I guess.
Yeah.
They needed a dumb blonde. And it is funny to remember, like, that probably if Stephen was cast, they would have kind of adjusted and written the character around him the way they kind of did with all of them. Except, like, TV Peter is not, like, real Peter at all.
Right. He's the only one who isn't, like,
So if you just ever watch a scene in the show where Peter is doing something ridiculous, imagine them making Steven Stills do it. So since Peter was such a good at instruments musician before he was on the Monkees, he played some backup on some of the songs on their first 2 albums. He played what he described as third chair guitar on Papa Gene's Blues. He played keyboard, bass, banjo, harpsichord, and other instruments on their recordings throughout time. He's really good at piano. He does the little complicated harpsichord stuff. He wrote the closing song of the 2nd season for Pete's Sake, which is
That's one of my favorite songs.
Banger.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to Wikipedia, the dummy persona was something that he developed while working as a folk singer in the Village. I'm not sure under really what circumstances you get to have a persona when you're a folkie.
Right. Also, how would being a dummy help with your folk? I don't know. I feel like folk is all about real.
Yeah,
real
you're supposed to be Bob Dylan. You're supposed to be scowling and mumbling under your breath. Well, maybe that set him apart from the other people that were kind of in the scene. You have like Simon and Garfunkel being like, "I'm depressed and I don't know my life,"
and he's just like,
and he's
I
just
don't know
like,
what I'm doing.
Yeah, he's like, yay. Torque was close to his maternal grandmother, Catherine Maguire Strauss, staying with her sometimes during his Greenwich Village days and after he became a monkey. Grams was one of his most ardent supporters and managed his fan club, often writing personal letters to members and visiting music stores to make sure they carried Monkees records.
Aww.
Grams.
This episode is dedicated to grandmas.
Yeah, this episode is for grandmas.
Yes.
So this episode was directed by my man Frawdog, which is what I'm calling James Frawley now, I guess.
Gotcha.
It was written by Gerald D. Intreva, Raina Mintreva, and it only has 2 guest stars out of the entire thing, so we can actually introduce them. So, Mom, do you want to say the thing?
We have the
backstory of one of the guest actors of this episode. He plays the romantic rival of Peter. I was watching the episode, not really paying attention, not really noticing him, and then there's a part where he bites the end of his cape and makes a specific face, and I went, "Oh my god, that's the guy from Coffin Too Frequent." Because he's the villain of the season 2 episode, A Coffin Too Frequent, which I watch all the time because, in my opinion, that is the
episode.
No. It's just the episode that was shot on the day when the Monkees were at their collective peak attractiveness. So,
okay.
Well, my first thought on that was when he was biting on it. I was like, "That's a little bit of an
autism stim."
Yeah,
he was stimming.
He was stimming.
Yeah.
Right. Back then, that was just called having personality.
Yeah. Hey, that's when Peter did it. They were called having personality. Yeah, so he's a recurring actor, but just in this one, he plays kind of a young guy rival love interest, and in that one, he plays a crazy old butler, and he looks old in that episode. Yeah. So I straight up didn't recognize him until he made the really specific face, and I was like, "Whoa!" But Mom found out not only was he in other episodes.
I was watching him, and I said, "Okay, this guy has been, like I've said a million times, he's been in everything." So I look him up, and he has been in TV and movies and Broadway, and then I came to find out that George Firth worked with Stephen Sondheim and wrote the book for Company and Merrily. We were all along.
Which is insane. Because I love those musicals so much. Sondheim is my favorite musical theater. I was coming out of my mouth and I'm like, no, what about Dave Malloy? Sondheim is one of my favorite musical theater composers.
Wow, small world.
Yeah.
But he also wrote some plays, but I thought that was just so interesting.
Yeah. What a career.
Truly.
So this episode first aired December 5th, 1966. We start with a shot of Peter's beautiful groove and moves as the Monkees are performing You May Just Be the One for some girl. So this girl, she's dirty blonde and she has side bangs as opposed to being bleach blonde with straight bangs. So she's totally a flower child hippie and perfect for Peter. She would never be good for Davy.
But she's a little high class. I got that she was supposed to be a little more classy.
Right.
I guess, but she's also a little more like adult almost.
Yeah, well, that's a
definitely.
little
Yeah, she's
older.
a little older, which is weird because even though Peter was the oldest, TV Peter is
Was the
just
most
not.
childish.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, is not. So I don't know.
I guess that would make sense, you know.
She calls them fellas. I have the fellas auditioning for Valerie and Ronnie for a party,
Yeah.
but she calls them fellas. And Ronnie, so the two
Yeah.
characters are Ronnie. Ronnie calls them the chipmunks.
Okay, so wait. So the girl's name is Valerie. There's a monkey song called Valerie.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't play it in this episode.
Had they written it by the time? Like,
maybe they hadn't, but also it's like a song that Davy sings, so it would be weird for a episode where it's Peter's
but
love
I feel
interest.
like they don't like pay that much
I
attention.
know they
to
don't. I know
the integrity of it.
So Ronnie is Valerie's adult man of unclear relationship. We find out what his relationship is to her by the end of the episode, but not really.
I thought he was her boyfriend.
I thought he was just like a weird like caretaker.
I
of
don't
some
know
sort.
because
Yeah.
when they introduce him, first of all, he looks like 45. No, he doesn't. He looks late 30s, and she looks mid 20s. But I think she might be supposed to be. Okay, here's another thing that's confusing. So in the episode title, she's called a debutante, and we see that she's kind of like a classy country club girl.
Right.
But it's not like the party's her debut ball or anything.
Right.
We don't see her acting as a debutante. And then I was like, how old are debutantes? So I looked it up, and in the United States, debutantes are 16 to 18 years old.
Yeah.
But I feel like they wanted her to be older, so why is she a debutante?
I got the vibe that she was maybe young, like let's say 18, and that guy was like
creeping on her.
No, he was like taking care of her or something.
I thought he was her parent at first too.
Yeah.
No, he was her boyfriend. He
no,
wants
I
to
know,
be her boyfriend.
I know, but I thought he was her parent.
But why is he like? I don't know.
Anyway, he says that the monkeys are chipmunks and dreadful, and then he continues to be a dick to them directly to their faces. Peter stares longingly at the giant portrait of Valerie, which is hanging on the wall of her house. I thought they were at the country club.
I don't know where they must have been at the house. I wrote Peter is smitten with Valerie.
Aw, yeah. No, because like they're performing in there. What room in her house is it?
I don't know. The ballroom.
I don't know. Anyway, they get in the car and they notice in the backseat Peter has kidnapped the portrait.
And it's gigantic.
Yeah, and he is telling it some seemingly true facts about his backstory, about how he's like, yeah, when I was a little kid in Connecticut, I went to 1 year of private school, but I didn't like that, so then my dad put me in public school. And I'm like, I'm sure he did.
I just let him riff for that one,
So after the theme song, we're back in the pad, and there's like a bunch of jump cuts of Peter teleporting to hug the portrait from different angles because he's in love with it.
Very cute.
And his shirt is groovy. It's like dark blue.
I like his shirt.
It's dark blue with like flowers, and then it has like white collars and cuffs.
Yes.
And he like doesn't like kiss the portrait on the mouth, but he like nuzzles it with his nose, which feels like more intimate almost.
Like we shouldn't have been watching
that. He's like petting.
Yeah. The other monkeys are like, Peter, you can't just steal a girl's picture. Why don't you talk to her? And he's like, I can't talk to girls.
I'm too shy.
The way that on the TV show they play up the innocence of Peter orgy organizer Torque is on IMDb trivia. It said, in real life, Peter Torque wasn't so shy around women. He lived with 2 girlfriends in a polygamous relationship during filming of the series. I'm sure he did.
Okay.
Yeah. The orgy organizer thing comes from he had a pin that said orgy organizer, but also he was reported to organize orgies. He's a man of free love. He is truly a hippie in that sense.
Truly.
But his TV character is kind of infantile, so he can't talk to girls. So Micky says, hey, it's easy, man. Can't talk to... Pshaw! Come on, I'll show you.
And then they go to the Cyrano de Bergerac.
I've never read Cyrano de Bergerac, and I don't know what they were referencing when they said that.
You've never seen it.
No, I don't even know what the premise is.
They've done it. They do it everything. They always Cyrano. Cyrano is too shy
to talk to Roxanne.
So his friend feeds him. I can't think of his friend's name, but feeds him what to say.
Okay,
so he falls in love, but he falls in love with the wrong person. But they do this. They do this premise over and over. It's one of the most used premises in anything.
I'm sure it is, but they probably don't reference Cyrano de Bergerac by name every time they do it.
No, but sometimes they do. But
Yeah.
yes.
Well, they did this time. So they stand under her window, and Peter very poorly lip syncs to Micky's speech of romance, and Peter's so bad at lip syncing. he's like he's like opening his full mouth
like a fish.
Yeah. So then, Valerie's suit man calls her darling, but she called him by his first name before, and he's like 35. Is he her brother? This was when I was still trying to figure it out. So Peter's doing like the lip sync, and then Davy switches to being the one doing the voice in his normal British accent.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were all talking, and he just kept moving his mouth.
Yeah, and one of the things that Davy says is, "Let me caress your hair," which is crazy for a girl who has not indicated interest back yet.
Well, here's the thing: Cyrano, he doesn't shout, like he feeds him what to say, and then
he doesn't literally say it for him.
He doesn't literally say it for him. He just tells him what to say.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Peter is saying all these things, and then the like gardener comes up to Peter, and then I didn't understand this joke. What I think happens was he assumed that Peter was talking to him despite the fact that he's been looking up at the window the whole time, and then like homophobically punches him.
He just punches him. I was like, that was a weird scene.
Was he defending Valerie, or was he being homophobic and assuming that Peter was hitting on him? Okay. But like right before he gets punched, Mike gets like one line in talking for him, and he leans like super hard into his accent for that one line.
Yeah.
Oh
I think he
funny.
must have realized that Davy wasn't cutting the accent out and wanted to make it the joke, take it further.
It felt really guttural too. Like he just went for it.
He's like, "Oh boy, you can." Like, So back at the pad, Peter's sitting on the stairs with a big ice pack on his chin or wherever he got punched. The ice pack that one would put on your head and put a thermometer in your mouth when you had a cold in a cartoon.
Cartoon one.
Yeah. So Micky like swings around the middle pole of the staircase and goes, "Come on, Big Peter." He calls him Big Peter a couple times in this episode, and I never noticed that before.
I think in general he does. Maybe
we'll pay attention for it now, I suppose. And Mickey's like, "We have to put the portrait back before we all get in trouble." And somebody knocks on the pad door, and Micky uses the door hatch to check who it is. I think this is the first usage of the door hatch. Mm-hmm. Most memorable uses of the door hatch, they have a running joke where someone will come to the door, Davy will go to the door and open the door hatch, and it's just like above his head, and he can't see out of it. At the door is Valerie and her dad brother.
Boyfriend brother.
So they have to hide the portrait. So Mike and Davy hang the portrait on the wall and put a mirror in front of it that Mike has to physically hold there with his hand.
Supernatural, like
you could have put it under the couch, like in the other room. Yeah. Maybe just like turn it around and place it against the wall. I don't like.
No.
Mirror with a hand. Valerie's wearing like equestrian gear, and then it shows a shot of Peter looking at her, and there is what can only be described as a boner sound effect. Because it goes like boy, wait, what? Like I swear to God, there's kind of a splat mixed in there. I'm like, okay.
I did not notice that one.
Valerie is like, "Oh, we just came by to ask what songs you would be playing at my birthday party." And Mickey's like, "We're gonna play Last Train to Portrait." And then he goes, "Hi." And I noted in the scene, Valerie's eyeliner is very cool. She has like it's like thick and round, but not very like flicked, not very much of a cat eye. And it's a style of 60s eyeliner that I have not seen a lot of, but I liked it.
Oh my God, maybe do like a Valerie makeup tutorial. Valerie
eyeliner tutorial. Valerie tutorials.
Yeah.
So she introduces the dad brother, and he has a different first and last name to her. Is he her significant other?
Yes.
So that's for the rest of the script. His name is Dad Brother Fiance.
Ronnie. His name is Ronnie.
Okay. So Dad Brother Fiance says, "This place is a dump." And he starts criticizing their beautiful decor, which is frankly rude.
True.
When they open the door, you see outside there's a giant
There's a head in their courtyard.
And it's like broken on the top. I'm like, what is that?
When they show like outdoor shots of the pad with the like boot mailbox, it's not implied.
Hallway.
Yeah, it's not. No, it's not. It's outside. Well, because they live in a beach house.
Okay.
But like the front area of their home, the continuity is not there.
No.
I really wonder what the set was before they like
Hold on. I'm just
decorated it for the show. Like, what on earth was that supposed to be? Because their house is like concrete, like it looks like a factory. Like, I don't know.
Well, the interior looks the way it does,
Right?
because it was a set. So it's like not realistic to being a house.
Yeah, but like I'm just wondering what it was before. Like,
well, they built it purpose for the show.
Oh,
yeah. Right now, I have been pulling up a funny thing about the pad. Mysterious doors.
Okay.
So this is on Cool Cherry Cream, the magazine archive. They keep archive of a lot of stuff. This is one of them. The door to the right of the kitchen is used by Peter possibly as a closet in Your Friendly Neighborhood Kidnappers, leads to a closet in Don't Lick a Gift Horse in the Mouth, is used by a party guest in Micky in The Chaperone, leads outside and is used by Davy in One Man Shy, Peter and the Debutante, leads outside and is used by Peter and the Four Martians in The Audition Find the Monkeys, leads to a closet in Monkeys in the Ring, is used by Peter and Monkeys Chow Mein, leads outside in The Christmas Show. Like,
yeah.
The continuity was not there.
Not there.
So Mike takes off his hat and starts like fixing his hair in the mirror, so it looks like he has a reason to be standing there holding his hand on the mirror. But also, I just like to think of him as super concerned with his hair and constantly fixing it in real life. And you kind of see him do it after he puts his hat back on. He like fixes the Michael wave. Dad, brother, fiance comes over and says, "You sure get a big kick out of yourself, don't ya?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm all I have."
That's sad.
Mike, you have a wife and child, so. And then Dad, brother, fiance whips out his comb to compare the length of it with Mike's. Mom, I'm not hallucinating this, okay? There's phallic symbolism all over this television program. But like Mike like fumbles the mirror and he notices the portrait and he says, "I'm going to contact the authorities." And Micky says, "You do and I'll be sorry."
That was funny.
And Peter has another incredibly sincere giant boba eyes acting moment, and he's like, "Valerie, I took your picture," and she's like, "That's okay, Peter. You can return it at the party." So clearly, she already likes him.
Right.
He has nothing to be nervous about.
I don't know if she's supposed to be in a relationship with Ronnie or not, because she never shows any affection towards him.
Well, she also kisses Peter.
I think he assumes that they should be in a relationship.
But but maybe they're just like fancy country club friends.
Yeah.
But why was he at her house at the beginning telling her who to
that's what
play
I'm saying,
at her party?
He feels like an authority.
Yeah, no, because he's older, he looks way older than her. It was confusing and it took a while to register, and the nature of their relationship is still unclear to me. But anyway, the two of them leave and Micky stims out. He like stiffly mimes beating someone up.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. And then Mike says, "Come on, Micky, cue it." Or I was unable to correctly phonetically render how he said that line, but it was so beautiful that I will include it in the edit.
"Come on, Micky, cue it."
So then the monkeys all try to think of nice things to say about Ronnie. I don't know why they bother. So it cuts to Davy in a costume of the painting Whistler's mother, which is a real deep cut. but apparently that's like, they referenced that in Looney Tunes, so therefore it was on the table as a general cartoon reference.
Right.
And he says he probably loves his mother. Yeah. And then Micky, holding the taxidermy ape, says he's probably kind to animals. And Peter, in a hospital bed with a blood bag, says he probably gives to the Red Cross. The concept of setting up the hospital bed and blood for that shot
for that
joke
that was
isn't
exactly
a joke.
I was like, they actually did this, and for what purpose?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then there seems to be a line missing or something because Mike says, "Anything else?" Hard cuts the monkeys in caveman costumes with knives, and then you know how cavemen have knives, and then they go, "We attack!"
They were Tarzan.
Well, they were like
cavemen. I guess they were.
I don't know. They were some sort of
they were mad,
primitive loincloth wearing angry guys with knives. I don't know. The joke didn't work.
No, I didn't understand. They said we attack, and what was I don't know what was going. Well, my only thing was, this is like one of the rare times you see Mike's chest.
Yes,
and I said he's so skinny.
I know. He like.
He was
that's
like
what you get
underfed.
Growing up in abject poverty, literally starving.
He was like
skinny ass boy. Yeah. That's probably also why the wall of aging hit him so hard, because he's like, oh, I have money to eat for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
They proceed to have a plan to discredit Ronnie, which is incredibly confusing to me, because they scheme to cause him a series of mild social embarrassments, but the plan relies on so many assumptions of how he's going to behave in order to work. I don't know. Like the first one, Davy pretends to be a French waiter at Jacques Cafe, where they're having some champagne, and where like Ronnie hits on Valerie and she seems uncomfortable, so they're not in a relationship. I don't know. Who is this man? Who is this man to you? Anyway, both Davy and Ronnie struggle to open the champagne. And when they get it open, the cork flies and demolishes a stock photo building.
building.
I don't understand how that's embarrassing to him, because Davy couldn't.
Well, he couldn't get the champagne.
Right.
Did they like rig the champagne?
Yeah, he hit it. He banged.
Oh,
he
yeah,
banged
with the
it
mallet. Okay,
pounded
that's what he was
with
doing.
the giant
I thought
mallet.
he was trying to get it open with the mallet.
No, he
Oh,
put
he
it
was
in
he
there.
was rigging it.
I said the woman at the cafe has a dress that looks like couch upholstery, and it wasn't in a bad way. Like I was like, it looks like couch upholstery. I'd like to have it.
Yeah.
And Valerie's in a blue and white checkered skirt suit with red buttons and a red turtleneck sweater underneath.
Ooh.
I was like, that's nice.
Yes.
Kind of like Micky's director outfit.
Oh, it
They
kind of
could've-
was.
yeah.
Similar color palette.
Right.
Yeah, he can't open a champagne. How embarrassing. And then they go to the park where there's a bunch of
There's an art.
And they do that
going on.
classic joke where Ronnie mistakes a piece of random plumbing as modern art. Two things about this scene. So they had to assume for this part of the plan to work that he would think that plumbing is modern art. So is it actually art that they placed there and then Mike just told him it was plumbing to embarrass him?
No.
So they just had to. So this part of the plan relied on Ronnie's own behavior, and
Yes. They just knew what was going to happen.
Yeah,
They're just
they knew what
geniuses.
kind of guy Ronnie was.
They
Right.
knew they read
Ronnie's
him down.
number.
They had him down. Yeah. And in the Mike's disguise in this scene is as like the park service, but he also has like a blonde fake beard hanging like an inch off of his chin.
Really bad beard.
Yeah. The third part of the plan, Micky pretends to be a doll merchant
On the sidewalk.
and is like, "Do you want to buy a doll?" And Ronnie is like, "No." And Micky is like, "What, you don't like kids?" Because if a grown man doesn't want to purchase a doll, he hates kids.
Right. And he wants to impress her, obviously.
Yeah.
By liking kids.
So the dolls on Micky's table include a beautiful blonde queen who I've been thus far unable to identify, but I think she's a Mattel baby doll because she looks like other similar ones that they had at the time, and the monkeys have other Mattel doll props, including baby secret my queen.
Which is what he hands.
Yes.
him.
He hands
Oh.
Ronnie a baby secret.
She's the one who
she's
whispers
back.
in
Yes.
your okay.
She's my queen. She's my ultimate
Goal.
Grail doll, and she was in a previous episode.
Oh.
But in this episode, she gets a close up where you can clearly see that she has baby secret written on her bib.
Yes.
But they have Micky has drawn a unibrow on her and inserted a pee mechanism into her.
Right.
Micky makes baby secret pee all over Ronnie.
Yeah.
And I think that's frankly rude.
What spits and screams.
Yeah. So this is an extra evil baby secret. I think I specifically want the one that was used on the monkeys and had a unibrow drawn on it for my collection.
Right.
But here's something. Then something happens that never happens before. Ronnie finally recognizes
Yeah.
Micky.
He sees through their shadow realm disguises.
Nobody
somehow.
ever figures out it's them.
But this man,
This guy got it.
he has their number.
And then he talks to the camera. So now not only does he
Yeah.
recognize him, he knows he's on a TV show.
Ronnie has
Ronnie's
connections.
becoming the main character of the entire
He
series.
has connections within the shadow realm, similar to the monkeys. Okay. I don't understand how the baby thing is supposed to discredit Ronnie. Is it because he doesn't like kids or because he
Yeah.
has pee on his suit?
I think
Well,
they're just embarrassing
probably
him.
both of them.
But it's
Yeah.
not his fault he has pee on his suit.
Well, they just don't like him, and they're just trying to
Humiliating.
Yeah,
mess
I
with
guess.
him.
I'm just saying, like, the monkeys usually have better, not better plans than
motivations?
this, but like plans with more consequence than this. Like, usually they're doing more. This is kind of some weak sauce revenge.
Right.
But anyway, Ronnie is now going to get revenge back on the monkeys for discrediting him. So in order to do this, he invites them to play a bunch of preppy lawn games that they fail at.
Yeah.
So first is shot ski, a sport with a gun.
He's shooting skeet. They're shooting skeet. You don't know?
No, I don't.
You don't know what skeet shooting is? They
No.
send a disc up in the air and you shoot it.
Clay
Okay.
pigeon.
Play pigeons.
I'm not classy and I don't belong in the country club. And much like the monkeys, I would fail at these classy sports.
Oh, just a little aside. Valerie now has a pinstripe suit with pants on.
Oh my god.
And a black, it's like a white and black pinstripe suit with a black turtleneck. And it must be really hot because she takes the jacket off later, and it's like a short sleeve.
Yeah.
Black, really classy. But I'm like, she must have been sweating.
Yeah. out in California.
Literally.
Okay.
So Ronnie keeps challenging Peter to these different challenges, and all the other monkeys are like, "No, take me instead."
I'll do it.
Yeah. So Davy fails at.
Davy almost kills Jeeves by shooting the skeet launcher.
Wow.
Right. And servants are hard to come by.
Yeah. So then he challenges Peter to archery, and Mike comes up instead, and he goes, "Torque, you look exactly like Nesmith." And then Mike says,
That's pretty funny.
and Mike in extreme Texas mode says, "Well, I'll tell you what it is, buddy. I killed me many lions. He killed many mountain lions out in Texas with a bow and arrow. That's what he mumbled in his accent. And then he clarifies that they were in fact very small mountain lions.
And there was a different kind of bow and arrow.
Yeah.
This one he couldn't.
Yeah.
He was going around
As
his
someone
neck.
who used to work at a summer camp and shoot bow and arrows, Mike is not observing proper archery safety whatsoever. And that is why he dry fires the bow into his own face, which probably damaged both him and the bow. So bad form, Mike. So then next is badminton.
He knocks his hat off.
Mike's hat is knocked?
Yeah, Mike's hat is knocked off when he's trying to shoot.
Oh. For badminton, Micky volunteers, and he pretends to be classy by doing a voice and calling Ronnie Old Bean. But of course he flops as well, and he eats the birdie like the golden snitch.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah. So then back at the pad, they're like, "Guess we blew it. Those lawn games just aren't our bag." What exactly did you blow? Because I'm pretty sure that Valerie likes Peter and not Ronnie, and I'm pretty sure that we can all tell that. Maybe because they're boys with low emotional intelligence, they don't know how to read a girl, and they're doing all this extra stuff for no reason.
Maybe they were trying to draw him away. I don't know. Maybe they were trying to kill him. Who's to say?
Yeah, perhaps they were. Because I said, what is going on in this episode? The delicate social graces of American country club society? Because that's kind of too subtle and nuanced for the monkey writers. And in this scene, Mike is hitting that hip hop. You see, we're talking about Mike's posture before. I've seen people diagnose Mike just by looking at pictures of how he holds himself in stands with various back and hip problems. Mike is.
But doesn't he have? Was it? No, that's Micky. Never mind.
Yeah, no, Micky had a thing with his leg.
Yeah, had a leg issue.
But if he had back and hip problems, he would not have gone to the doctor for it because of Christian Science. So
true.
He had to hit the hip hop to relieve his pain instead. So Valerie
asked Peter to take her.
Yeah. She calls up the monkeys. She calls the pad, and she's like, "Ronnie." She goes to Ronnie. "You humiliated me and yourself when you shamed the monkeys. True queen. Thank you for being the only reasonable person in this episode who acts normal." So she calls to ask Peter to take her to the party. He did it! But he doesn't know how to treat a woman. So the other monkeys have to show him.
They have to show.
Okay, but in order to show him, they use her.
I know.
As to practice on.
We go into a music video.
Right.
For I'm a Believer. You know her. You love her. Written by Neil Diamond. Sung by Donkey and the Fairy Tale Creatures. Actually, okay. So Mike was originally supposed to sing lead on I'm a Believer, but at the vocal session in October 1966, he argued with producer Jeff Barry and stated, "I've produced records and that ain't no hit." Barry eventually asked Mike to leave, and Micky Dillons replaced him as his lead vocal. The song hit #1 and became the biggest single of 1967.
Wow.
So, Mike, don't be so judgmental.
Literally.
So she's in the video, and she's wearing a green polka dot raincoat, which I loved, but sadly ended up in a puddle.
Yeah, Peter was supposed to take his coat off and put it in the puddle, but he took Valerie's coat off.
He couldn't understand anything he was supposed to do.
No, he's like a toddler. They had him take her coat off for her and like pull her chair out for her, and he picked up the chair and put it on the coat rack like a coat.
Naturally.
Like,
yeah. And then I said, okay, Peter is a little creepily staring at her and petting Valerie in a tree.
Yeah, most of this music video is like spinning shots of like Peter and Valerie like booping each other's noses and like spinning around in a field.
Yeah.
It
was really.
Is this a dream? Do you think it was all a
Oh,
dream?
that's a good point.
Possibly, because that would make more sense, because why would they use her as a teaching tool when they're trying not to let her know that they're trying to like teach him?
I think it was a dream.
Yeah, I mean, I put that the romantic sequence was super awkward. It felt like really like there was no chemistry between them.
I don't know. I want Peter to look at me like that. I'm a little jealous.
I thought Peter was creepy.
Like,
I thought it was creepy.
Okay.
He looked like he was like. They told him to pretend like he was smitten, and he was pretending to be smitten.
Yeah. I said this is like the first instance where Peter is written to have like toddler stupidity, like in that he has issues with object permanence.
Right.
And one of the ways that they show him how to treat a lady is like lighting her cigarette for her. Isn't she like a teenager?
Well, we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know. I feel like maybe this.
Well, they were also drinking champagne.
This episode might be like two different scripts that were awkwardly combined or something like that.
Well, wasn't the drinking age 18?
Yeah, it was, but she had to have been at least 18.
Right.
I don't know.
Who knows?
And then Ronnie like angrily hurls but does not release a frisbee in their direction. He just like makes the motion of throwing it at them. And there is an on-screen Peter kiss, which
was really bad.
It was like blurry.
Well, also it was just, you could tell it was just really bad.
I don't know, because I'm a little jealous.
Okay,
low-key.
well, to each his own.
As a Peter rising, I would say.
I don't know. It was awkward.
Okay. Anyway, after all that, Peter sadly comes back.
He mopes back in
and looks at the portrait. And Mike is like, "Don't be sad, Pete. We'll fix it." Fix what? They were just spooning in a field for an hour.
Right.
I didn't understand it.
Okay, even if that was entirely a fantasy sequence, she has already asked him out. There is no issue here.
What is he fixing?
Yeah.
Right.
And he goes, "Well, sell candy, greeting cards, pencils." What?
Yeah, literally.
What is that going to fix? What? Are they trying to raise money?
It's like they got rid of a scene before.
$100? What?
They always need $100. And then it jump cuts to like an identical angle of the pad, but they're wearing different clothes. Oh god, this fucking scene. I'm just going to recite this scene entirely because it's incredible. Peter, didn't you ever have a crush on anybody? Yeah, once. I took her to my Cub Scout meeting. Well, didn't anyone ever have a crush on you? One time I got some threatening Valentines. You told me you used to play Spin the Bottle. Yeah, but I always lost. Well, maybe we can fix that. Hard cut. Monkey's sitting in a circle with a random blonde girl who is not Valerie but looks identical to her.
And they don't introduce her.
Right.
And Mike says, "We appreciate you coming. We're just gonna play Spin the Bottle."
She never speaks a word.
Right. They just have her on dial just for this exact scenario.
What kind of sexual harassment scenario is you're like?
Do you think she didn't even get like paid for an actor that has lines?
No,
Right.
like
She doesn't even speak.
oh my god. Yeah, so the monkeys call you up, you go to their house, they're sitting on the floor with a bottle, and Mike says, "We appreciate you coming. We're just gonna play Spin the Bottle real quick." Okay. You know what? If I was in that scenario, I would probably enjoy myself. So the bottle always magnetically points to Davy because of his great powers of Riz and beautiful bowl cut.
His magnetism.
Yeah. Including, there's one shot where like Peter's like trying to like point it back at himself, but clearly he has to correct it to point at Davy in the first place.
And then
Right.
Davy leaves the room, and the
bottle flies
flies
after
across the
him.
room.
Because it can sense that he's the most kissable. Peter is so depressed over this that Micky decides to give him Freudian therapy for his depression. And he's like on the Freud couch, and he says, "When I was very young, I used to be embarrassed about kissing, but now I can talk very openly about looks around sex, sex confirmed to exist in the monkey universe." Imagine if they made that joke on Big Time Rush. That's kind of not really
true.
like a, and I guess as stuff was like a family, it was more of like all stuff was family shows, and you got to put jokes for the parents. I don't know.
I guess it was also like a teen show.
That's true. But we talk a lot. The fan base was like 10-year-olds.
Yeah,
I was
that's true.
surprised he said sex.
Yeah, that shocked me when I first saw it.
Yeah. Orgy organizer, he had to acknowledge it.
Right.
So then
Subtly.
Freud Micky diagnoses Peter with mommy issues.
Right.
And then Freud Micky's mommy calls him, and he's revealed to have his own mommy issues, which include, "When I was a little boy, my mother used to wrap my lunch in the road map."
Yeah, wait.
What?
I think that went over my head.
Is
but
that a joke that means anything to you?
I don't get it.
yeah.
When I was a little boy, my mother used to wrap my lunch in the road map.
Maybe, I don't know. What
Yeah,
that
Maybe
means.
she was just crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe it was telling him to leave.
I don't know. And then at the end of the bit, Micky like peels off his little goatee, and he talks in his normal voice. So his Shadow Realm costume is really physically on him.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think I said he peeled the beard off. I'm like, that's the first time you actually see them interacting with the Shadow Realm costumes.
Except, well, in the Davy's grandpa episode, they had to collect all the costumes.
Yeah, but that wasn't the Shadow. That's the.
But then there was that other scene where like they were at the airport, and like Mike kept changing disguises in front of everyone, and he had to physically change them.
Right.
So then, overall, the rules of the Shadow Realm are mysterious and shifting.
Yes. Usually don't see them interact.
No. The shirts Peter and Davy are wearing in the scene seem like almost Star Trek inspired to me. They're like very like bright color blocky with kind of like high collars and like graphic design for the like black lines down the middle. So I thought that was a possible connection. I don't know if Star Trek was like airing already.
I don't know when Star Trek aired.
It was around this time though. So at the party, Micky tells Peter, "Remember, talk music, books, and politics." Politics? Peter to this high society debutante, "I think it's disgusting how they ship us off to die like dogs in Nom." But then what actually he says is, "I read an interesting music about books and politics today." And then he tries some performative male riz.
Right.
By saying, "I was rereading Hamlet the other day."
Right.
So right now, Mom, there is a trend of the meme of the performative male, which is a boy who, just to impress girls, pretends to read books in public and has a labubu and stuff.
Yeah.
So Peter's
yeah.
really channeling that here. So then, to help Peter have riz, Micky comes in lisping with a middle part. That's what he's decided, and pretends to be Peter's stockbroker.
Okay. Did you know what he was holding?
I didn't even notice what.
He's holding a ticker tape machine.
Yeah.
Ticker tape machine.
No.
I know. I've heard the phrase ticker tape before because Joan Baez said that Bob Dylan used to write like ticker tape, but I don't know what that means.
Ticker tape was the stock market was where they would transmit onto the floor, transmit the prices for the stock market. They do it all electronically now, but it was the machine, and he's holding it to like a glass globe, and there's a piece of tape, looks like tape coming out of it, and it would just print out. And it was called ticker tape because it made a sound, and that was the stock. It was the stock prices were come out on the ticker tape, and it was over the telegraph lines. It was the earliest it was one of the earliest forms of electronic communication, and they would do it telegraph, and then they would have ticker tape parades in the Canyon of Heroes, it was called. That was like down Wall Street.
Down by Wall Street.
And
you see those like they have like plaques about it on the sidewalk.
Yes. And they would throw they got rid of ticker tape in the 60s, and they went to like electronic things, but they still I don't know if they still have them, but they did through the 80s and 90s and I would say 2000s ticker tape parades, but they would just throw paper out. It wasn't ticker tape, but it started as used to be ticker tape. They used to throw the ticker tape out the windows and it would come off.
Now that
Like
you
a
say that, I'm like,
streamers.
I feel like I've seen that in movies.
Yeah.
Yes, you would see in movies, and they would have them up. They have them. I don't know if they've had them since 9/11. I think maybe
That's what put the end to
that
it.
put an end to that because it was because. But part of that, so they would throw paper out the window. It was no longer ticker tape, but they were still having ticker tape parades.
Receipt paper.
Right,
Yeah, they just shredded. They would shred paper and throw it.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Hmm.
Wow, learning so much.
Wow.
So it's holding a ticker tape machine.
Okay.
Got you.
To additionally indicate that Peter is rich, he says he smokes 10 cigars a day and lights them with $100 bills. You know how money is like a fire starter?
Yeah.
You know how money lights up?
Well, that's something that they say you
well,
light something.
okay, yeah. I thought that like this whole scene was really cute because this type of like wingman Riz stuff is still used today. The other day I was in like the train station in New Jersey, and there was this group of like teenage boys, and there was like one girl there who they must have thought was cute because one of the guys was like talking to her, and his friends all went, "Oh, hey man, I forgot to give you your keys back for your Lambo. Oh, hey man, oh can you oh, you probably can't help me because you're going to be too busy volunteering."
That's so cute.
Yeah, and it was a thing in the 60s as well. So then Micky sticks his cigar in Peter's mouth, speaking of Freudian. But Peter says, "I don't smoke." "Explain this, bitch!" I love this picture of him because he looks like a toddler, but he's smoking.
It reminds me of Ben Affleck taking a smoke break.
Yeah.
Having a rough time.
Mm-hmm. The alternate universe where they made Steven Stills do all of this. And then we get probably the worst joke in the show so far. Micky says, "You've heard of the New York Stock Exchange? Well, he runs the New Torque Stock Exchange."
Doesn't even rhyme.
Oof. Oof.
Well, he even says it kind of like quietly.
He knew it wasn't a hit. Then Davy comes in pretending to be Peter's private English tailor, and he kind of does his artful Dodger voice from Broadway. Valerie, like during this whole thing, she appears to know what's going on and be amused. Like she knows that they're just his friends raising him. Like like she likes Peter for him. He doesn't need to do all this stuff to impress her. Come on, guys.
Mike shows up as a yacht captain.
And his vocal choice is certainly something.
I said his fake voices are terrible.
No, like Mike is real good at one accent. And it's the accent that he naturally has already, and he can do any degree or flavor of Texas you want. But ask him to do something else, and it
was bad.
No, he's like he's like trying to do a Mickey Mouse voice, but I don't know. Yeah,
Valerie thinks this whole thing is hysterical. She just keeps laughing.
Yeah. Because, like, she knows what's going on the whole time and that it's just them messing around. And she thinks it's cute and funny that they're trying so hard. But then Ronnie enters the party in an truly inexplicable Dracula cape. Like,
Why?
he puts it over his mouth, like literally like Dracula. I guess he's just evil, and we need to show that.
I don't even know.
And he says, "I'm here to expose the monkeys. I wish you would." And he calls them fraudulent frauds. And then Peter has a really sincere acting moment again. Like I've reiterated again and again that the conflict of this one was flimsy and hollow because Valerie likes Peter from the beginning and didn't like Ronnie from the beginning, and none of this had to happen. And when Ronnie chewed on his cape and I recognized him, it was because of the like particular face he made. And his bright blue, kind of scary eyes as well that made me recognize him.
But Valerie thinks Peter is fine enough being himself.
Aww.
So sweet.
Yeah. Peter and Ronnie both ask Valerie for the first dance. And then Peter says, "Valerie, you decide." Now feminism is here. A woman's choice, but a woman's own choice.
Okay, but she doesn't choose. She says nothing.
And you know what that whole thing reminded me of? Free to Be You and Me, and Atalanta from Free to Be You and Me.
Yes. Who chooses
not
to choose.
Or perhaps she will not. And you know what, Mom? As a person who very recently learned who Alan Alda is.
And he's in Free to Be You and
He
Me.
is in Free to Be You and Me.
Yeah.
Do you know Free to Be You and Me?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's this children's album from 1972, I think, early 70s,
yeah.
by Marlo Thomas, who was kind of
I love Marlo
Yeah.
Thomas. Yeah.
And Friends.
and
Yeah.
friends, and Marlo Thomas and all her actor and show business friends, and
Yeah.
they're like kind of like songs for children about like emotion, self-esteem, and a lot of like
Okay.
feminist concepts.
Yeah,
actually, and of
interesting.
like and like being like, oh, boys and girls aren't just one way. You're not just like this, and like women don't have to get like
Yeah.
married, and anyone can be anything. And and the songs are bangers.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
and there's
that's
and it also includes
yeah.
a bunch of sketches and skits and stuff.
Oh my god! I
And
gotta look
Alan
this up.
Alda is and Alan Alda from MASH
Yeah.
is on 2 of the songs.
Yeah. He's in that he's in that skit?
Yeah, he's in the Atalanta
Yeah,
skit.
Atalanta skit.
And I'm like, oh my god, Hawkeye is reading me a bedtime story.
You love that album, I get. Yeah,
Yeah.
That was one you grew up with.
Yeah,
I grew up with that. one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up with it. That's why I knew. of
right.
it.
Right. Wait, what's it called?
Free to be you and me.
I'm gonna look
Yeah,
that up.
take note of that.
I will.
And like, I think it's interesting that like the Monkees kind of had a similar, like politically similar written moment towards a woman's choice.
Right.
You know?
Look, I said Peter's playing in the band
Mm-hmm. And fighting Ronnie physically.
and fighting Ronnie with he's doing they're doing a battle it out.
They get more on Peter's level. They're not playing classy lawn games anymore.
Right.
They're playing scrappy playground games
So
like
they-
Squid Games
They did hopscotch, arm wrestling, a duel
with flag guns.
with flag guns, and marbles.
Yeah.
And when Peter wins, Ron eats the marbles.
He eats the marbles
I was
Wait,
like,
what?
there he is,
In anger.
stimming again.
in anger. Oh, he's stimming.
What the?
Yeah. Marbles or marples.
He's gonna
Yeah.
choke on those marbles,
Yeah.
and Peter wins the girl.
Yay! And then the 3 non-Peter monkeys direct address the camera to be like, Peter has riz now. And it's like the tone of a PSA almost, because they're like, and just remember,
Right.
every day. And Davy's like back on the hospital bed and he leans up and he's like, and just remember.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they used it for the other scenes.
Yeah.
So.
And during this part, Mike says, can you believe that the Peter we all know and love has now turned into a wolf in sheep's clothing? And I said, okay, 861 Hedgehog, let me introduce you guys to the wonderful art of 861 Hedgehog, who is a person from the like mid 2000s who just drew Torque Smith Yowie all over the internet.
Okay.
And I assume that this person is not a native English speaker because of all of the captions are like in weird broken English. So I'm putting it on the screen now. But we have here a beautiful picture of Mike and Peter in furry outfits, and Mike is a wolf and Peter is a rabbit, and he's saying, "You want to eat me, Wolfman? Yes, sure. Shotgun."
Oh. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then she has written 861 Hedgehogs, USA Hippie, and Texan Wolf, the Monkees Torquesmith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you're right
Yeah.
about that.
And you know what brings me joy is that this is the type of stuff that was on the internet in like 2008. So all of the Monkees presumably could have seen this during their lifetime and appreciated.
Well, also just like the level of like obsession that has followed this band from the
from their
the moment
lives.
they aired
Yeah.
to
Right.
2025
Yeah.
No,
is
like, yeah.
wild.
That's what I think about, like when people are like, "Oh, I'm so nervous," because like Mickey's account is active on Twitter and likes people's tweets sometimes, and people are like, oh, "Mickey's lurking. I don't want him to see any of this," as if he even manages his own accounts. But like,
Right.
if he sees anything that I'm posting, I don't post crazy. I don't post anything weird or crazy like
Like this.
like that. Well, this is, maybe I would, but
But yeah.
it's on the line. It's on the line.
Yeah.
This is funny to me, so I would post something like
That's
this.
true. It's not. Yeah.
But honestly, at this point, like if Mickey has had time to get used to fan works being made about him,
Right.
and he has to accept it by now. I'm sorry.
Either that or he just doesn't look at them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I'm sure he's not.
right.
yeah.
I'm sure he's not on the forums looking at the.
Yeah.
How
that-
old is he now?
80. He just turned 80.
Wow. Yeah, if
Yeah.
I was 80, I would not be.
You would not be trolling the anime fan art forums?
Yeah. After a lifetime of dealing with fans, I would not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, so there's this write-up of like one of the major fan sites for the monkeys in like is nakedpersimmon.com, and it is called as such because the title is taken from a monkeys lyric, but it is called such because it was quite a slash fiction archive,
Okay.
which means that it had explicit gay stories about the monkeys. And the runner of the site was also kind of a general monkeys archivist and blogger and stuff. And she met and became friends with them. And she and when Mike died, she wrote this like lovely long write up about her friendship with him. And she would be like, she wasn't a very like everyone says Mike wasn't a very physical person, but like my friend Nez, who I know, was always holding my hand, and it was really sweet. But she opens the post with, "When I first met Nez, the first thing he said to me was, 'Show me the fan porn.'"
Wow.
He wanted to read
wanted
the
to
fan
know,
fiction.
yeah.
He wanted to know what people
Yeah.
thought. Anyway,
And she probably did.
let's wrap this episode up. So Peter is playing spin the bottle by himself with 4 girls, and he cheats by making the bottle point to him. And he makes 4 girls kiss him at once. Peter, I thought you were loyal to Valerie.
Oh,
No,
true. Yeah.
No, Mr. Orgy just wants mad bitches.
I
Now
didn't
that he has
think of that.
Riz, I see how it is.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Come on, Peter.
Like, where is she now? Like, what?
Immediately, he learns how to get girls, and he immediately uses
He's like,
his powers.
oh,
for
I guess I
evil.
don't have to settle for you now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn,
Wow.
Pete.
Cold.
Stone cold. After all she did for you. Well, that was One Man Shy Peter and the
Yeah.
Debutante. And the monkey, he not in, monkey out.
Monkey out.
By which I mean that
Monkey
Peter
out,
Tork
yes.
is a proud bisexual.
He out.
He out!
Oh, yeah.
We hope you enjoyed that episode of The Monkeys Pod. You can follow us on Instagram and the website formerly known as Twitter, @MonkeysPod. 861 Hedgehog, whoever you are, you would be a great guest on the podcast, so reveal yourself to me, and we'll bring you on. I'm dead serious. It's 12:30 at night, I'm getting loopy. Bye.